Thank you. Okay, I had a situation where I shifted my energy. It was a situation with the building department. I'm a builder, and it felt life-threatening. And I did a process that I've learned from you, and everything shifted.
Let us insert something really quick, very brief, and then we want to hear more from you. There's something wonderful about something becoming so absurd that you have to take a different tact. It's like when it reaches a crescendo, you use the words life-threatening.
Yeah.
When it gets that absurd, we only use the word absurd by meaning that it's so far from who you are and what's natural and what should be for you. So when things get really absurd, sometimes there's a really strong shift. And the biggest thing that it usually is it causes you to focus. And the best part is it causes you to focus because you care about how you feel in a more powerful way. When it's so absurd that it's sort of taking you down and you feel life threatened, then there's something about the activation of that desire to get back into your power and your strength and your clarity that kicks into gear.
Okay.
Now, we're not encouraging you to get yourself in big bad jams. We're just saying that usually when you do, things do turn around.
Okay. I want to compare that because I had what I feel like a wonderful success and going, yes, this works. And I have two other situations. I have a knee injury, and I have a deficit in nerve growth from an accident from years before. And I would like both of those to change. So I'm comparing the two situations, and I went, well, with this, I felt life-threatening. And with this, I hobble along, but I don't have... With the building department, I had a confrontation, and I left on my way. I had an hour drive back to the crew, and I was just panicked, thinking I'm losing my license. I'm going to lose everything over this. I went back, pulled the crew off the job. I unplugged the situation so I wouldn't get an inspection until I was back calibrated to who I really was. It took me a few days to actually shift so that I went, oh, wait a minute. I've got the resources. I'm not alone in this.
So you did essentially what we've been demonstrating here. You pulled yourself from the specifics of that, went general, found your alignment, and then? And
then got a phone call. Everything was perfect, and I could start the job back up. There was no problem. It was as if it hadn't even happened. They said, "No, here's your permit."
That's because one who's connected is more powerful than a million who are not. Yes. It really is that way. Hard to walk away from that, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
It sort of goes everywhere you go.
It seems to. So, does it need to be life-threatening before I can shift? Or
no, because now you've had the experience of knowing what the shift is. The other just got big enough that you had no choice. Yeah. That's what we were talking about earlier. When it gets absurd enough that you really get it, that you're out of action choices. So you're making a vibrational choice, you're making an emotional choice, you're making a calibration choice. It's just harder to put some distance between something that's happening to you physically. It's hard to focus on a healthy foot when your toe is throbbing, but you can do it. You can do it. You can step back into a more general place. Want to do it?
Yes.
We don't want a lot of detail about your knee, but let's say in this moment in time it's bothering you. And so you've got your book open. How would you frame the situation?
My knee has an injury that...
The current state of my knee is?
Current state of my knee is aggravated, irritated. There's some tears, and it gives me pain to be on a ladder. I can't walk and exercise the way I could, so I feel limited.
So that was the next question. Okay. And so I feel limited, I feel a little unstable, I feel disappointed, I feel unsure.
Yeah.
I feel mad at myself. No?
God, I feel crippled. I feel this is in between me and being flexible.
I feel negatively affected by this. I feel disadvantaged. I feel disabled. I feel unable or disabled. So there it is. It's how it feels, and it's logical. But it is a situation that you don't want to keep calibrating to, even though it exists. It's a what is that you want to be something else. But it's so vivid in what it is because it affects you on a daily basis, not just because of the way it feels, but because of the obstacles that come up when you hesitate about this, or you hesitate about that, or you hesitate about this. So it comes up enough that it's bigger than a bumpy ride. You've stated it. You've acknowledged how it feels. That vibration is active when you focus on that. Logically, it would be. So now you've decided that you're going to do something about your energy apart from that. It's like saying, does this situation have to be the reason that I offer the vibration the way I do about things? Does a sore knee have to affect the way I love my children? Does a sore knee have to affect the way I feel about that sunset? Does a sore knee have to affect the deliciousness of this food that I'm eating? In other words, I can compartmentalize. It doesn't have to affect everything. Now we know when something's hurting, we get how it affects everything. It affects your mood, but it doesn't have to. You can calibrate a different mood even while that's going on. And you know this because if any of you have ever experienced pain, you know it always becomes more acute when you get emotionally overwrought about something. It's like if you're prone to some sort of physical pain about something, it gets worse when you're upset about something. And you usually think, well, I'm upset because I'm in pain, but often you're in pain because you're upset. In other words, it works that way too. So what you want to do is acknowledge to yourself that you're going to do a process that allows you to isolate that situation and let it be something that's not part of every equation. And it's not going to be part of this equation right now while you're calibrating. So this knee makes you feel wobbly and unstable. That does. It makes you feel that way. But in terms of my life, my true life, my big picture, am I an unstable person or a stable person?
Stable person.
No question about it. You're not even wondering about that. I'm a stable person. Am I capable of accomplishing what I want or incapable?
Capable.
You just showed yourself that with the other situation. Do things always get better for me or do things always get worse for me?
Better.
Do things usually get better for me or do things usually get worse for me?
Usually get better.
Do I have a good track record of deliberate creation or a bad track record?
Good one. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. And so even though your knee may be throbbing, you've calibrated, you've set it apart. It's not a piece of the reason that you're offering a vibration right now. And this is your point of attraction. What you're doing now, the hell yeah, just now, that's your point of attraction. That's your point of attraction. Now, don't you think that while this was going on, while the disabling was happening by whatever injuries occurred that caused it, don't you know for sure, knowing all that you know, that while that was going on, while what you didn't want was going on, while you were calibrating to it and to the remedies and to the medical responses to it, so don't you know for sure that while that calibration was going on, that you were calibrating an equal and equivalent result? When you are calibrating on a problem, you are simultaneously calibrating on a solution. When you're calibrating on a question, you are automatically calibrating the answer. That's what the evolution of all species is about. When something bothers you, something better is created, and they are always equivalent. In other words, the wave is the same on both ends. So to the degree that this has felt crippling to you, you have created a solution that is every bit as big. And that's why if it gets absurd over here, it gets really absurdly wonderful over here. You sort of follow that? So now what just happened to you by your willingness to calibrate and bringing yourself all the way to the hell yes that you said emphatically, you're calibrated to all of that improvement that has been waiting for you here. So now you're calibrated there. You know how it felt like a miracle after the confrontation that you had with that guy, so much so that you were shaken and could hardly drive back to the job site, and then it just turned around as if it never happened, as if it never happened, as if it never happened, as if it never happened. All things are like that, except that, oh, you don't want it to never have happened, because if this never had happened, then this could never have happened. And if there can't be that, then there cannot be evolution. If there cannot be the question, there cannot be the answer. So you've got to give yourself permission for the problems, for the cripplings, for the injuries, for the hurt feelings, for the air conditioners not working. You have to give yourself permission for all of that to happen all around you without you assigning yourself as wrong or bad or ineffective. You've got to let yourself be the evolving being that you are. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.